Hey friends, welcome back to Becoming with Ketney. I'm so glad you're here today to listen to another episode. Now, today, I want to ask a question. Have you ever looked at your life and compared it, not to other people, but to who you thought you'd be by now? The version of you who had clearer plans, who had more certainty, and a timeline that made sense. Sometimes the pressure, it doesn't come from the world, but sometimes it comes from the version of yourself that you're still measuring against. After learning that becoming isn't a straight line, the next quiet challenge is this. How do you trust your journey when it looks different from what you initially imagined? That's what we're talking about today. One of the hardest things about adulthood is realizing that growth, it doesn't always look like progress. We are surrounded by visible milestones, promotions, relationships, big announcements, while so much of the real work happens quietly. Your journey might look like choosing stability instead of momentum, stepping away from paths that once felt right, learning patience after years of urgency. None of that comes with applause. Trusting your journey means that you're no longer becoming the version of you that you once planned for. You're becoming the version that actually fits as you grow. It's like editing a life draft that you once felt confident about, not because it was wrong, but because you've learned more since then. Things have evolved. You learn more about yourself. And you know what? There's also a kind of grief with that. Letting go of old expectations, releasing timelines you once told yourself that you'd meet. But quiet seasons, they aren't empty. They're transformative. They're where you build steadiness, where you unlearn rushing, where you learn that becoming, it isn't about arrival. It's about alignment. Trusting your journey means believing that what you're doing now will make sense later, even if it doesn't feel impressive today. So take a moment and reflect on this. What version of yourself are you still holding yourself to, even though you've outgrown them? If you're comfortable, drop a comment. What part of your journey are you learning to trust right now? You never know who can relate to something that you're also experiencing. Remember, we're never usually alone in our experiences. There's someone out there that can relate. If this episode resonated, remember, you don't need to become who you once thought you should just to be worthy of who you are right now. You're allowed to change. You're allowed to take your time. And you're allowed to trust the version of yourself that's still unfolding, that's still becoming. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow, like, subscribe. And if you feel like this conversation might help someone else out, feel free to share it. Who knows? Maybe this is something that they needed to hear and reflect on. Thank you for being here and for trusting your journey one step at a time. Until next time.